So today I'm with Olga, right, and we're going to take you through how to snatch, okay? Today. So Olga is going to demonstrate for us the first thing we need to work on, which is footwork. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to try and jump your highest to try and get your head to the ceiling. We'll do 5 jumps. And just before you do the 5th, I'm going to get it to stop. So go to do the jump and stop. Okay, this position is going to be Olga's start position. Okay, this is the position she can produce most power from. So this is where you would put your feet in a position that's generally, rule of thumb, underneath your hips. From there, your catch position, which you will have to do later, is when you move your feet out into your squat position and do a squat. So wherever you would feel most comfortable doing a squat is going to be your catch position. So you've got 2 foot positions, which is your jumping position, which I'll go demonstrate for us, and you've got your catch position, which is just your squat. Perfect, okay? From there, we then need to work on hand position. You pick up the bar. We're going to trap this bar in your hip crease, which is basically the top of the iliac crest. So it's not going to be on the bone. It's just going to be right here underneath there. And then Olga's going to trap the bar by bending over and straighten her arms. From there, she'll put the bar overhead. This is your snatch grip. How do we know whether it's too wide, too narrow, or you've got it right? Well, if it's touching the top of her head, then her grip would be too wide. If she feels like it's limiting her mobility and the bar's out in front, or she's really struggling to put the bar back, then it could be too narrow. But this for Olga is good. There's no exact measurement of where it should be. It's where it's best for your proportion. But once again, running through that, just put the bar into the hip, trap it there and arm straight. From there, this is a good start point. What we're going to do from here is nail the overhead squat. This is something you need to be able to do to be able to snatch. So once again, Olga's going to put the bar overhead. From there, move her feet out into that squat position or that catch position that we did before. And we're going to do 5 overhead squats. What we're just working on here is making sure that bar is nice and stable. There's no movement forward or backwards. Lots of upward pressure on that bar. And you're going to achieve your full depth. It doesn't matter where that is for you. All that matters is it's optimal. Okay, so if you can go all the way down to the bottom arse to grass, perfect. However, if you could only go to just above parallel, that Olga's going to do now. Okay, just a bit higher. If that's your best position without leaning forward, then that is where you're going to catch, and that'll be your catch position. From there, what we're going to do is stand up, put the bar on the back. The bar will rest just at the top of the traps here, okay, and won't be on that little knobbly bit of bone at the top of your neck. What we're going to learn to do here now is drop under the bar and catch. We're going to use our legs to help us to begin with. This is just basically learning to get confident with driving with the legs and then catching in the overhead squat position. So we're going to call this a heaving snatch balance. So when I say go, Olga's going to use her legs to help the bar pop up and then drive herself down into the catch position. And go. And repeat. So she's using the legs to drive the bar and catch into that overhead squat position. The bar isn't going too high. It's just going up a little bit off the shoulders, and then she drives under. Brilliant. The next step along from there we'll be doing is what I just call a drop snatch or snatch balance without a heave, okay? So we're just going to be able to drop under the bar without any use of the legs. This is a little bit more challenging, but really gets you confident with driving under and catching in a solid receiving position. When I say go, Olga will just drop into her receiving position. Go. Brilliant. Go. And final one, she'll stay at the bottom for this one. Go. Here you can see nice and consistent footwork, feet landing in the same place over time. Lots of pressure on that bar, and it's over mid-foot to heel. We don't want it too far back, or neither do we want it too far forwards. Eyes are looking straight forward the whole time. And stand and put the bar down. Just to give Olga a little break, I'm going to talk through our next section, okay? So you've now got confident with where your feet should be. You've got a confident grip, let's call it the snatch grip. And you're now confident in where you should be catching that bar overhead because you've found out where your overhead squat position is. From here, we're then going to try and nail the first variance of the snatch. So we're going to adapt our snatch grip. Brilliant. And what you do from here is you wrap your thumbs around the bar and your fingers around the thumb. This is known as the hook grip, and this enables you to have a stronger grip on the bar. This is a must for all Olympic weightlifters. From here, what we're going to learn to go is the power position or the hip position. So simply where the bar is now, Olga would just dip her knees to the outside and sit mid-foot to heel. Okay, so we're nicely balanced. The bar is in that hip crease because that's where we want the bar to make contact with. When I say go, Olga's going to perform a big vertical extension and then catch in the overhead squat position, but only at a 2-inch dip. So we're going to call this a power snatch from the hip. And go. Good, and again. Good, and one more. And hold in this bottom position, hold. From here you can see it's just a short dip, solid receiving position, feet nice and consistent. Okay, this is the first thing you need to nail before we go all the way down, just to keep that bar nice and close without swinging, and stand and relax. So that is a power snatch from the hip or from the power position. We learn to do this before we go all the way down to the bottom, just to get some stability and confidence in the lift. The next thing we're going to do is exactly the same, a power snatch from the hip, from the knee, so from above the knee. This is also called the hang position above the knee. From here, we'll have nice vertical shins. Hamstrings are loaded because the shoulders are over the bar. So if she stands up to the hip position again, all we'll see is just hinging by pushing the hips backwards and loading the hamstrings. When I say go, Olga will then do a nice vertical extension, landing into the power snatch position, and go. Brilliant. And 2 more. And final one, hold there. Once again, you can see nice consistent footwork, solid overhead, and we're just landing above parallel, and stand and relax. Okay, the very final one I'm going to take you through, the final position, is then going from the ground, okay, or mid-shin position. So this is known as our start position. So we're going to work through the positions from the top. So we go from the hip, down to above the knee, and then down to mid-shin. From here, shoulders are slightly over the bar, knees slightly forward, so the quads are loaded, and eyes facing up. Nice and controlled, she'll drag to the knee and then explode into that power snatch position. Brilliant. 2 more. Good. And last one, keeping her back angle nice and level all the way until it gets to above the knee. So that means hips and shoulders maintaining that position she's in until she gets to the knee. Then she explodes and holds in that position. Everything nice and consistent throughout all the lifts, and relax. The final steps now in learning how to snatch is we're going to go through all of those positions, but landing in your overhead squat position. Like I said before, your overhead squat position is a position that you can hold without breaking any integrity. Remember, don't forget that hook grip, that's imperative, and we'll set at the hip. When I say go, and on my instruction, Olga is then going to do a nice vertical extension and landing into the overhead squat. Go. And stand. Brilliant, great stability. We're then going to do that from above the knee, which is the hang position. Go. And stand. And the final one is doing this from the start position, which is mid-shin. Shoulders slightly over the bar, eyes and chest up. Drag and then explode. And stand. And relax. So this is the snatch, and this is how it's broken down. This is an easier way to learn how to go through all the technical points. So if you follow that through on each one of those points and keep trying to practice them, then you will get better at the snatch, and hopefully just seek a little bit of coaching along the way with it as well. If you want further breakdown, I'll do more videos or just get in touch. But in terms of the snatch, that's it. Thank you very much, Olga. Should be knackered now. See you next time.